Good morning. This is Mrs. Vogt. We are going to start day 4, and I just wanted to pop in and say hi, since we don't sometimes see each other. If you are working at home and we didn't get a chance to talk today, so I just want to say hi, get your notes set up. We're going to talk about solving equations today. All right, solving equations, like I said just a second ago, we have one step, we have two step, we have multi-step, we have fractions, all those good things. You may want a calculator. If you haven't heard me make a video yet, I am really bad at arithmetic. Isn't that ridiculous? Being a math teacher, but I always make arithmetic mistakes. So I'm going to have my calculator near me. So hopefully that you remember that when we are solving equations, we work our order of operations backwards. So the last couple days we've been talking about order of operations. Now you're kind of working it backwards. So you would add and subtract first, and we don't have anything to add and subtract because remember, when these two things are touching, that means they're connected by multiplication. I'm going to then move to multiply and divide, and to get rid of multiply, or get rid of is not really the right math word, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to divide by -7, and what happens is I'm left with y on this side, and being really careful of my positives and negatives, I get -13. So that was probably not too bad. They are going to get harder as we go on. So here you'll notice we have fractions, and I chose this one because a lot of times we see these fractions and then we kind of freak out, and we don't have any reason to freak out because fractions are super fun. And all I have here is divide. Really what I have is a divided by 9. And you guys know what the opposite of divide is. It's multiply. So to get rid of this 9 in the denominator, I'm just going to multiply both sides by 9. So super similar to this one I just did up here where we had multiply and then I divided. Now I have divide, now I'm going to multiply. So all I'm left with over here is a, and again, being super careful of my positives and negatives, I'm going to multiply -4 and 9, and I have a equals -36. All right, those are two pretty simple. So what happens here when I kind of have two things, I have a multiply and a divide. You can do this in one step, you can do it in two steps. So maybe I'll do it both ways. One way would be to start by either choosing to multiply or choosing to divide. So whichever one you think you want. I might choose to multiply first. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5, and then I get rid of that 5 in the denominator. Now remember, when it's a negative, only one of these is negative. Either the negative is the 6 or the negative is the 5. So 12 times 5 is 60. So I'm left with -6k equals 60. And then I'm going to divide by -6. And I get k equals -10. Another way to do this would be to choose to do this in one step. So if I was doing this in one step, let me rewrite it here. I would multiply by the reciprocal. And I need that negative in there because negative times a negative is a positive. And what happens when you take -5/6 times -6/5? You're just left with k. They didn't cancel. They made negative, or they made +1. But we like to think about it as canceling. So then I have, I would type this in my calculator if I wanted to. I would type in 12 times -5. 12 times -5 divide by 6. And I should get -10. So same answer no matter which way you do this. So you can make it a two-step equation or a one-step equation. You could have started this first one, instead of multiplying by 5, by dividing by 6. Okay, so either of those things work. Lots of correct ways to get to the right answer. So here's one that's more than one step. I have multiplication, I have addition, or I'm sorry, I have division, I have subtraction. So I need to really think about which thing can I do first. So PEMDAS backwards. Maybe you need to write it over here for yourself. I need to do add and subtract first, because remember, I am working this backwards. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Okay. And then to undo division, we multiply. And 16 times 2 is 32. My answer for this one. Okay, so first I have to do subtract and add, then I can do multiply and divide. Being very careful. I have one more example for you for today. So I have lots of different things going on here. And so then you'll tell me, you're going to tell me, Mrs. Vogt, I should subtract 8 first because you said add and subtract first. But I really want you to look at the way this is written. This in itself, because this w plus 8 is in the numerator, it's like it has its own parentheses. And notice parentheses is at the end. So I really can't get to that w plus 8 until I take care of this 9 in the denominator. So I first have to do 9, multiply both sides by 9, so that I can get that parentheses by itself. At this point, I can now, it's kind of like I start over. I went multiply and divide, I got an equation, now I look again. What should I do first? I should subtract 8 from both sides. And I typed this in my calculator, w equals 28. So there are some examples for solving equations today.